Welcome all. My dear friends, let us continue our journey in the world of patents. Okay, so here you can see the key term here written is opposition. Okay, and in the picture we can see there are very two beautiful roses, but yeah, both are not similar. Okay, so as they are having different properties, different features, opposition can happen. Okay, so here the key term I have taken is opposition. Okay, and a great man has said it is opposition which foretells success. Where there is no opposition, there is no success either. That means opposition is not bad. Opposition is also needed sometimes. Some many more examples can be given that for a democracy, opposition is needed. So many things are there we can say. So literally we can cite various examples on opposition. Okay, so here just take a look what happens. That means this flower is opposing this flower. Okay, just a symbolic picture, nothing else. Why I am telling all these things? Because the form number we are going to discuss today is form number 14. Okay, so till now we have discussed about all the relevant sections and rules based on up to form number 13. That means up to form number 13 we have completed all the relevant rules and sections. Okay, so today is the turn for form number 14, and form number 14 talks about opposition. Okay, that's why I have told you so many things. Okay, so this is the literary world, this is the nature we can say, but we will go to our legal world and see and observe and watch how the term opposition has a very significant value there. Okay, so let us continue. Go to form number 14. The title is Notice of Opposition to Amendment or Restoration or Surrender of Patent or Grant of Compulsory License or Revision of Terms thereof or to a correction of clerical errors. So all these things are included here in form 14. It is a lengthy one. The title is a lengthy one. Okay, and the related sections and rules are also we can say the number is more. Sections related are, the related sections are 57, 61, 63, 78 and 87, and the related rules are 81, 85, 87, 98, 101 and 124. Fine. So here let us briefly describe the related sections. Section 57 says amendment of application and specification or any document related thereto before the controller. Section 61 is procedure for disposal of applications for restoration of lapsed patents. Section 63 is surrender of patents, and the title of section 78 is power of controller to correct clerical errors, etc. Section 87, procedure for dealing with applications under section 84 and 85. Okay, and the related rules we will discuss briefly. Rule 81 says amendment of application specification or any document relating thereto. Rule 85 says opposition to restoration under section 61. Rule 87 is surrender of patents. Rule 98 is notice of opposition under section 87 subsection 2. Rule 101 is procedure to be followed in case of application under section 88 subsection 4. Rule 124 is manner and time of opposition to the making of corrections. So you can see as a whole here there are a number of keywords. One keyword is amendment, one is restoration, one is surrender, grant of compulsory license, revision of terms, correction of clerical errors. So many terms are there, and here you can relate these terms here. Section 57 amendment of application, rule 81 amendment of application. Okay, and here section 63 is surrender of patents, and here rule 87 is surrender of patents. Fine. So similarly you can relate all this, particularly the subsections of the sections and the subrules of the rules, with this form number 14. So let us proceed to form number. After refreshing our memory from the old slide about form number 14 and its relevant sections and rules, it automatically comes to our mind that if form number 14 talks about opposition, then also that means earlier we have also read about some more forms which were talking about the term opposition. Yes, it automatically comes. So that's why I have prepared a table here for comparison. Okay, so let us see. Form number 7. The title is Notice of Opposition. Form number 7A. The title is Representation for Opposition to Grant of Patent. And form number 14 says Notice of Opposition to Amendment or Restoration or Surrender of Patent or Grant of Compulsory License or Revision of Terms thereof or to a correction of clerical errors. Okay. So when you compare these three forms, I think it will be crystal clear for you to differentiate between the three, and you will not be confused anymore. Okay friends, that's why I have tried to compare all the three forms here for a clear understanding. Fine. Now it's the time to talk about the specific what? Now it's the time to talk about the specific section. If we go to the old slide where we have discussed about the form number 14, and that means where we were actually establishing the relationship between form 14 and rules and sections, relevant rules and sections, there we can find that the first section we need to talk about is section number 57. Okay, but in our earlier lectures I have already prepared that PPT on the form on the section number 57 in a detailed manner. So no need to go to details on section 57. You can go to that particular video lecture for a detailed explanation. Okay, that's why we will jump up here to section 61. Okay, so let us continue. Now, so today's section is section 61, and this comes from chapter 11 whose title is Restoration of Lapsed Patents. Okay, and the title for section 61 is Procedure for Disposal of Applications for Restoration of Lapsed Patents. Okay, that means section 61 deals with the procedure for disposal of applications for restoration of lapsed patents. Fine. So let us continue. Literary meaning of some important words. Okay. So let us see. First one is restoration. Okay. Restoration is, we can say, the return of something to its original condition is restoration. Next one is lapse. The meaning is a period of time between two things that happen. Okay. Now is prima facie. This means it appears to be true at first. It may be proved false later. Okay, so why I am discussing the literal meaning of these important words? Because you will come across these words very often, and if you know the meaning of these things, you will not be confused there. Fine. Okay, let us move then. Now comes the keywords for subsections of section 61. Okay. The key term or the key phrase for subsection 1 is failure to pay the renewal fee was unintentional. For subsection 2, the key term or the key phrase is an opportunity to be heard. For subsection 3, the key phrase is restore the patent and any patent of edition. For subsection 4, the key phrase is an entry shall be made in the register. Fine? Okay. So the same thing I would like to say today as well, that I have picked up this key terms or key phrases as per my intellect. You can choose your own as per your convenience. Okay? And by remembering these things, you can very well recall the gist of the subsections and the section as a whole. Fine. Subsection 1 says, if after hearing the applicant in cases where the applicant so desires or the controller thinks fit, the controller is prima facie satisfied that the failure to pay the renewal fee was unintentional and that there has been no undue delay in the making of the application, he shall publish the application in the prescribed manner, and within the prescribed period, any person interested may give notice to the controller of opposition thereto on either or both of the following grounds, that is to say, clause A, that the failure to pay the renewal fee was not unintentional, or clause B, that there has been undue delay in the making of the application. Fine. So, for this subsection, friends, please refer to rule, that means a range of rules starting from rule number 57 up to rule number 63, and particularly rule number 85 sub rule 1. Okay, where rule 85 talks about opposition to restoration under section 61. Okay, and here you can see the single star mark here, and this says, or this indicates the words inside the square bracket are substituted by Act 15 of 2005, section 44, for advertise the application. That means earlier this was advertise the application and now this is publish the application. Earlier this was advertise the application and now this is publish the application. Okay, and this was we can say with effective from 1st January 2005. Okay, so now we will go to the meaning of the subsection. Fine. So what I can say here, after hearing the applicant in cases where the applicant so desires. Okay, that means here the applicant desires. Okay, and the controller hears him, and if he or she, that means the controller, is satisfied or he or she thinks it fit, then that means prima facie. That's why only I have given there the meaning of prima facie. Now you can understand it better. Okay, the controller is prima facie satisfied that the failure to pay the renewal fee was not intentional. The failure to pay the renewal fee was not intentional or unintentional. Okay, that means intentionally the person has not made the mistake. The simple meaning is this. Okay, and that there has been no undue delay in the making of the application. There has been no undue delay in making the application. That means the applicant is clear in his sight, and that clarity, when the controller sees and he is satisfied, then he shall publish the application in the prescribed manner and within the prescribed period, in the prescribed manner. Up to this, I think you are clear. Now we will go to another phase. That means and. This operator starts here and. And within the prescribed period, read it like this, okay? And within the prescribed period, any interested person, that means within the time span, any interested person, or we can say any person interested, he may give a notice of opposition to the controller. Okay, based on what? Based on these two clauses, either or case. Okay, so what does these clauses indicate? Just take a look. Clause A says that the failure to pay the renewal fee was not unintentional. That means intentionally he has not paid the renewal fee. The meaning is like this. This can be a ground for opposition. Okay, or that there has been undue delay in the making of the application. That means undue delay is made, okay, which provides a ground for the opposition. Okay, so these two clauses can, if these two clauses are satisfied, then the applicant is not clear. That's why at this condition, if any person interested can give a notice of opposition to the controller. Okay, so remember these two grounds. Fine. Okay, so rule number 85, sub-rule 1 says, at any time within 2 months from the date of publication of the application under sub-rule 3 of rule 84, any person interested may give notice of opposition thereto in form number 14. Okay, just remember this. Fine. Okay, next. Subsection 2. This says, if notice of opposition is given within the period aforesaid, the controller shall notify the applicant and shall give to him and to the opponent an opportunity to be heard before he decides the case. Okay, that means if a notice of opposition is given in that time period, then the controller will notify the applicant, okay, and he will give him and the opponent also an opportunity to be heard before taking any decision. Okay, so for this, please refer rule number 85 sub rule 2, and we can say, what is rule number 85? This is opposition to restoration under section 61. And what is form number 14? Notice of opposition to amendment or restoration or surrender of patent or grant of compulsory license or revision of terms thereof or to a correction of clerical errors. This is just given for reference. So what is rule number 85 sub rule 2? That only I will briefly discuss. Okay, just listen. So rule 85 sub rule 2 says a copy of the notice of opposition shall be sent by the controller to the applicant. Okay, so I hope now it is pretty clear now. Fine. Section 3 says, if no notice of opposition is given within the period aforesaid, or if in the case of opposition the decision of the controller is in favor of the applicant, the controller shall, upon payment of any unpaid renewal fee and such additional fee as may be prescribed, restore the patent and any patent of addition specified in the application which has ceased to have effect on the seizure of that patent. Okay, that means a condition, a situation is given here that when no notice of opposition is given in the prescribed period, or either or case, okay, or if in the case of opposition, that means there is opposition, okay, but the decision of the controller is in favor of the applicant, okay, either or two cases. First case is no notice of opposition in the prescribed time. Second case is opposition is there, but the decision of the controller is in favor of the applicant. Okay, the controller shall, upon payment of any unpaid renewal fee and such additional fee as prescribed, restores the patent and any patent of addition specified in the application which has ceased before. Okay, or we can say which has ceased to have effect on the seizure of that patent. Okay, so also simply we can say if the controller decides in favor of the applicant, then he shall, upon payment of unpaid renewal fee and such additional fee, restores the patent and the patent of edition specified in the application. Fine. Okay, let us continue. Subsection 4 says the controller may, if he thinks fit, as a condition of restoring the patent, require that an entry shall be made in the register of any document or matter which under the provisions of this act has to be entered in the register but which has not been so entered. Okay, so let me tell you again. The controller may the controller may, if he thinks fit, the controller, if thinks fit, as a condition of restoring the patent. Okay, that means he is satisfied with the condition for restoration, require that an entry shall be made in the register. Okay, an entry shall be made in the register of any document or matter which, under the provisions of this act, that means Patent Act 1970, has to be entered in the register but which has not been so entered. Okay, that means the entry shall have to be entered in the register which has not been so entered earlier. Fine. So in a very simple way we can say that if the controller thinks fit for restoration, then an entry shall be made in the register uh, of any document or matter which was not so entered earlier. Simple meaning is this. Okay. Also, as we have, just a minute friends. Yeah, as for subsection 1, we have talked about rule 84 subrule 3. Let me tell the important points here. So, rule 84 subrule 3 says, where applicant requests for a hearing within the time allowed and the controller, after giving the applicant such a hearing, okay, is prima facie satisfied that the failure to pay the renewal fee was unintentional, he shall publish the application. Just for reference, I am telling this, nothing else. Okay. So this way, friends, all the 4 subsections of section 61 are completed. So please go through all the slides. Please go through the slide where all the linkings have done. That means the linkages between the sections, rules and the form are done. And also you can individually you can go to the video lecture prepared for section 57, okay, which is also relevant to this form number 14. So please go through all and please go through the direct as well. If you have any queries, any questions, any compliments, any comments, please write down in the comment box. Okay, so let us stop here. Fine. The reference is Patents Act 1970 as amended by Amendment Act 2005 and the Patents Rules 2003 as amended by Amendment Rules 2021. Okay friends, thank you all for watching my video and listening to me. Okay, so please like, share and subscribe the channel and please put down your compliments, comments and queries in the comment box. Thank you. God bless you. Stay safe, stay blessed. Jai Hind.